determination, passion, stamina, and the will to win. The end result, the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Extreme Motorsports brings you the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, brought to you by Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment, and in part by TD's Tree Service. Live Mondays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Hello everybody once again, and welcome to the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series here on Apex Racing TV. Andrew Woodhouse alongside Alex Simpson and Adam Bath, the Sebring International Raceway in Florida. And Adam, well, this Sebring circuit always seems to bring pretty good racing. It's a nice layout, it suits these cars, and we should have some good action out there for 1 hour tonight.
Yeah, it's a track that brings out the best of the action in both of these cars, I reckon. The Mustang seems to suit this old school circuit pretty well, so does the Mazda as well, and some good opportunities to get a little bit of slipstreaming done as well, especially in the Mazda down the long back straight. So should be a good hour coming up soon.
Yeah, quick word from Alex Simpson as well. I know you enjoy this circuit, Alex, and it's certainly a unique one with all the different surface changes and just the way it's laid out. And what can we expect from the drivers tonight?
Yeah, very bumpy circuit. It's a bit of a challenge. You know, you really have to get used to sort of the circuit and the way it drives and avoid the bumps. And I think you know, what we'll see today again is obviously MX-5 is going to be very, very close because there's quite some area where you can get a lot of draft here as well, and they can attack the course very, very well. Good through the infield section, and it's not really going to be too much of an issue with the bumps and the curbs. The Mustangs car can get a bit loose here with the surface and the bumps and things like that, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Drivers may struggle with that, but for the most part, I think we'll be up for a particularly good race meet, and it's just one of those tracks that lends itself to good racing.
Yeah, for those new to this series and those new to the Sebring circuit, especially those in the in Europe who may not be that familiar with it, well, we have the answer. We've got a track guide coming up, and we're going to show you exactly how to tackle this very historic layout.
Welcome everyone to Sebring, Florida, here at Sebring International Raceway. Great to have you with us today. We're going to do a track guide around the course, this 3.75 mile road course. This track was originally built back in the late 1940s, post-war. There was a gentleman that was an aeronautical engineer here at Hendricks Army Airfield, and he decided he wanted to hold a sports car event here, something similar to the 24 Hours of Le Mans. He decided to hold the event on New Year's Eve in 1950. The first event was the 6 Hours of Sebring. 2 years later, the 12 Hours of Sebring was born. As we approach Sunset Bend here, this is the final turn on the course. We're going to come out of here and take you to the stripe, and we'll get this lap underway for you. It's a very fast exit here. We'll talk more about that when we come around on the next lap. Coming down to the start-finish line, front straight here at Sebring International Raceway. Pits are to your right. We're going to come in here wide into turn one. This is a third gear corner in the Mustang. Going to roll that center, look for that blind side of exit, get right up through the gears here. And this takes us down into this little turn two kink to the right, and the third, and into second. This is a very complex section right here. Coming through, you got to hug those apexes, come in wide here, allow the car to roll, let the nose set down nice to get that good launch up off the exit. Coming around Big Bend here. This is turn 6. very fast corner. Drivers love coming off this turn and down into this very, very difficult, tight hairpin. Getting down through the gears into third, back down into second here. Tight, tight, tight rotation. You want to get that car straight back out so you can get a good straight launch out into turn 8 here and up into turn 9. Another fast section coming off that hairpin. You will see overtaking opportunities here. Coming down into turn 10, Cunningham corner, back down through the gears. Another tight right. Again, change in track surface as we've got a combination of asphalt and concrete and old runway here that this track has been built on over the years and expanded to. Coming down into Tower Corner here. This is a turn 13. You want to get a good, nice launch off the exit there because this is taking us to the fast section, the complex of 14 through 16. Drivers will be wide open through here. Won't see a whole lot of overtaking opportunity, but you got to be quick, and you'll see why in a moment. Coming into 14, quick right, back to the left, pedal to the floor, lift, trail brake, off the brake, down into Holman straight. You want to get a good fast run off this corner because this is where you can get a little bit of draft help and hopefully slipstream the driver in front of you. Heading down to the final corner here, which is turn 17, known as Sunset Bend. As you can see, that sun is glaring late afternoon here right through our windshield. Coming down into the corner, into third gear, wide apex entry. This is a closing radius corner. Let it wrap around, get a good straight launch off, take this thing right to the outside up through the gears, get a good straight speed launch to the start-finish line. There you go. There's your track guide lap from Sebring, Florida, Sebring International Raceway.
Yeah, thank you very much for the track guide there, showing us exactly what to do around Sebring. And Alex is familiar with the circuit possibly more than myself and Adam. And where are the key places? Where can the time be won and lost for these guys around here? Because it is a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, that sort of. I think it's technically the second sector on the iRacing. The way they have them out, but coming out of turn 1 into turn 2, 3, 4, that area there, there's quite a lot of time to be made up there if you can just get and find the absolute optimal line through there. And yeah, that hairpin, always a lot of time to be made in the slow speed corners, so just keep an eye out for that. Obviously one of the best overtaking positions. And then I find in the, not the final sector, but the penultimate one as well, through that sweep-in section there as well, you have to compromise some speed on the way in to make sure that you get the absolute best line coming off and onto the back straight, which you can make or lose a lot of time there as well, just by carrying a few extra kilometers an hour down that back straight. So, yeah, it is quite challenging, and yeah, it took me a while to really understand where you needed to compromise speed to gain it back on the exits.
Truly, smoothness is key, Adam, in that section.
Yeah, it is. It's probably one of my favourite parts of the circuit. They're really difficult to get right, as Alex has just been saying. How long have I been driving Sebring now? For 10 years or so since I got Forza 2, I think, on the Xbox 360, and been a bit of a fan of the track since then. It's really difficult one to get right. We can move you on to the Drivers' Championship as we go into this one, and it's we've got quite a lot to cover really in the 15-minute build-up that we've got, plus a lot of cars on the grid as well. But it's Aero Nom that leads the way in the Mustang points going into round 2. He leads Mike Dan by just 1 point. I think Dan won at Daytona, but the way bonus points have gone, which we'll allude you to during the evening, it means that Nom goes into this one in the lead. Iannucci.
Yeah, you missed a bit of a treat actually, by the way.
I know, really
those
did.
Who didn't watch last week's race, it was decided by 1/1000th of a second in the Ford Mustangs.
There you go. That's one reason among many more to go and watch it back. Pasquale Iannucci in third, then fourth Tyler Shiflett, Kevin Ford in fifth, Leon Wright 6th, 7th Stephen Thomas, 8th TD Travis Davis, 9th Russ Ruddock in 10th Clint Vigus. And in the open category in the Mustangs, it is Michael Monaghan leading the way there, with Jay Johnson in second, Corey Wharton in third, Raymond Smith fourth, and Robert Brist rounding at the top 5 there. Over to the...
In fact, I don't know if Alex, while you're doing this, I don't know if Alex has the capability to do it, but if you go onto the Extreme Motorsports website and you go on Road Series and you click on the Ricmotech Sports Car Series button, fantastic screenshot of the finish of that race. I don't know if you can bring that up, Alex, and show everybody, but yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but it is an absolute perfect shot of the finish, and that's how close it was.
Do have the website open actually, so can have a look. Goodness me, yeah, that is very close. And the Ricmotech website is Extreme Motorsports 99 or 99.com. If you want to go and have a look at that while we continue our build up in the Mazdas. Then it's Rob Hardley leading the way there. He's joint top with John Allen, and Travis Schwenke third, Dave Payton fourth, Tyler McFarlane in fifth, and Jeff Jacobs in sixth. And then over in the open category, it is Zachary Ruban in leading the way there, with Dan Corrido in second, Jason Welsh third, then Lyndall McMurphy in fourth, and Crick Torman in fifth position there, as we go into the second one, and the qualifying session is over and we're down to the grid.
I did get that screenshot up as well.
That's a nice picture, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. So,
but that's how close it was, and it was really Mike Dam using the gravity of the banking to his advantage, and it was so eerily similar to the finale of the BSRTC in 2015 in race 100 of that season. Onto the grid then, Kevin Ford takes pole position again, resurgence from the league admin, getting himself onto the pole. Mike Dam in second place.
Last year as well.
Yeah, he did. He did. He was very quick here. And then Mike Dam in second place, Aaron Om in third, Leon Wright in fourth, Stephen Thomas fifth, Clint Vigas in sixth, seventh for Pasquale Iannucci, eighth for Tyler Shiflett, ninth Brandon Whitworth, Travis Davis in 10th, Russell Ruddock 11th, 12th is Mike Griffith, Michael Ruddock 13th, Andrew Lanning in 14th, Matthew Katila in 15th, Corey Wharton is 16th, and then it's Michael Monaghan in 17th, 18th for Jennifer McDonald, Raymond Smith in 19th, David Henry in 20th, Robert Brist 21st, Scott Brooks 22nd, and Adam, if you could take us through the MX5 grid.
Yeah, quite a big MX5 field here today. Starting on the pole position in the Mazdas, it's going to be Rob Hartley, and second is John Allen. Brian Holmes, the only UK and Ireland driver in the field, so he's suffering with us. He's starting in third. Travis Schwenke in fourth, Joe Boyd fifth, sixth Jason Walsh, and then Dave Payton, the Canadian, starting in seventh. Tim List, new driver to the series. We'll talk more about him as the evening goes on. He's driving the Red Hat Racing number 80 in this one. Got him down as a Mustang here on my notes, but he's driving in the Mazda today. And Zachary Ruban in ninth, lead of the open category there in the Mazdas. And Jeff Jacobs in 10th. And Lyndall McMurphy in 11th. 12th, Dan Corrido, the New Yorker. Chris Torman in 13th. 14th, Edgar Sanchinelli. 15th, Michael Key. 16th, Michael Taylor. And he will round out the 38-car grid for this one.
Good stuff. Pace car just setting off from the start-finish line, Alex. And are there any drivers out there this week who you're really looking forward to seeing, or you really think can make an impact?
Well, I have to say it's nice to see Kevin back towards the front. I was a little worried that perhaps all the planning of the World Series has limited his practice time at Daytona, but it's hard to really pick one or two drivers out of this grid because there's such a strong competition now based on that first race, and that goes for both categories as well. So honestly, to give you an answer at this stage of the series, it's just too tough.
Yeah, I think that does sound about right. I think in terms of that. Just having a look, we've got an interesting quote actually from new driver to the series, David Henry, who was speaking to the guys midweek, and said that Sebring is one of his better tracks. He's been working on the setup diligently, as his times are not quite where they need to be. However, he enjoys the series. It's very professionally run. Well, we agree with that definitely, and the talent is very deep. I hope this season I can improve to their level. Well, we have seen drivers in the past, Alex, in many of the series that we've covered, start fairly slowly, but then build it up and become good contenders inside the top 10.
Yeah, we've seen that very often, and I think if you sort of buy into the ethos of the league and the series and get on with the drivers, you develop quite quickly because you want to do well. So I feel like this is definitely a good place for people to get involved in league racing. Gives you it gives you quite an introductory to how well things can be run.
And for Henry Adam, he's managed to escape the back row of the grid anyway. So, for me, that's always, as long as you're not really on the back row, doing all right in your first appearance there, definitely.
Yeah, not a bad qualifying effort at all there, really.
Or second appearance, maybe.
Yeah, so he's gradually learning and go to some pretty good tracks throughout the season. So we'll see if he can improve and maybe get a top 10 or 2 by the end of the season. We've just got enough time to run you through some of the strategies to watch out for here today at Sebring. With the Mustang, we'll start with them. The drivers will need to take a full gallon of fuel, off the full amount, 7.2 gallons at their pit stop, and some drivers may only take 2 tyres, and they should get about 15-16 laps on a tank of fuel. In the Mazdas then, they'll take a little bit of fuel, not a full tank, and 2 tyres or none on the pit stop, which should make for an interesting strategy in the Mazda class. And with the Mazdas, they should get about 17 to 18 laps worth of fuel on a tank. So we'll wait and see what happens. We're expecting pit stops around the 32nd minute in the race till about a quarter of an hour to go. So watch out for that second half.
And then slightly later for the Mazdas as well. Right then, coming round Sunset Bend, can Mike Dam the dealt an early season blow? Kevin Ford, Calero Nom, Leon Wright, any of the drivers behind take it to Mike Dam tonight. That's Sebring, here we go, we're away. The green light is on. Look at this. Look at them all charging into the first corner. So many different lines around this first bend. Aeronom has already got ahead of Mike Dam, so it's Kevin Ford into the lead then. Nom now being challenged and Dam's on the outside. I think there's a bit of contact.
Yeah,
it's a very narrow part of the circuit there, Adam.
Yeah, Stephen Thomas was sliding about, still is, as we go out onto the back straight through the curve turn 5.
Off goes Travis Davis. And there's a lot, there's no grip out there, Alex, at all. The drivers in the early going.
No, and I think all the marbles have carried over. The MX-5s are away as well. It's a good start from Hartley. Allen's right there, so's Holmes. No contact through turn 1. Everyone narrows down and squeezes down through sector 2. As I was saying earlier on, just finding the right line through there. It's definitely not an area you want to be going too wide. So, yeah, the MX-5 field, no issues whatsoever.
No, and going into the hairpin, if anybody challenges anybody else here, how brave are you to move offline when there's so much debris on the circuit already? And it's only going to get worse. It's one of those circuits where drivers don't really run off the track too often, Adam, but it's just a little bit of dirt offline, maybe that people are dragging back onto the track.
Yeah, this track already doesn't have much grip, and the amount of dust that can get swept back onto the circuit, it's not like a Seika for it being that bad. But I think, yeah, we could see some issues like that cropping up towards the end of the race. We're just heading onto the Ormond straight now for the first time. A lot of Mustangs in this one today. We've got 22 of them in this race, and it was an amazing sight seeing them going into the first corner. Travis Davis versus Mike Griffith as we head down the Ormond straight now. That is a TD upper position into 10th place, back where he started. And going through the final corner now, Sunset Bend. I wonder if we'll be seeing any overtaking that's taken place here.
Well, it's still Griffith versus Davis, as you mentioned. And yes, Sunset Bend, it's a weird one, Alex. The final corner on the circuit, it is an overtaking place. It's also one where many different lines can be taken.
Yeah, the lines through there seem infinite in their number. Just, I think when I raced
still
here,
don't know how to do it.
no, I think when I've raced here, I don't think I've done that turn once the same. You know, in a row. It's always different.
Oh, Griffith, look the inside. And, Davis trying to hang around the outside. Griffith still pushing on. Griffith was very quick at the start of last season, and then he just completely faded away. He was challenging for wins, I remember, when he came into the series, and then it didn't really happen for him. Now Travis Davis trying to get up the inside into the right-hander, and he has made it. And off goes Griffith. Get a slowdown for that, Adam, maybe.
Wasn't the most conventional line, was it? As we now go through turn 8 and turn 9, known as the Fangio section of corners here. Down to turn 10, coming up to the water tower at turn 13. And yeah, this is a bit of a gaggle of cars already starting to form in the early going here. You've got Travis Davis leading this pack of about 6 or 7 cars as we go into Tower Bend here. This is turn 13 on the 17 corner circuit, this 90 right. Now on their way towards turn 14, Bishop, which is this left-hand kink here. And Travis Davis currently holding that 10th place. And then into the Le Mans complex here, turns 15 and turn 16 as well.
I find that tower section is always one where, I don't know about you, Alex, on this one, but I always feel like you've never gone. Oh, and Mike Griffiths spun.
Well, he's gone, hasn't he?
Managed to avoid the wall. Does do a nice spin turn. Gets it round quickly without losing too much time. It's not so much about the positions, Alex, at this point in the race for these guys. It's more about the time lost because, yeah, we've seen in the past how that's really the key to losing the race.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just goes to show there, one Speedy got away with it without the damage, but drops him right to the back of the pack. Just having a quick look at the MX-5s. And yeah, they're pretty much as they are, but a couple of little gaps starting to form up. Joe Boyd dropping off the back of Travis Swenke there, and you've got Zachary Rubin behind him as well. So a few seconds gap. Zachary under quite a bit of pressure from David Payton right now.
Yeah, this is not going to be a circuit, I don't think, at least, where we're going to see that sort of traditional Ricmotech Sports Car Series race. I think the drivers going to be one on pure pace, I think, tonight. I don't think there's going to be reliance on the slipstream. I don't know about what you think.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough one. I think the MX-5, you still get enough to be able to hold on. Definitely nowhere near as bad as what we obviously saw at Daytona, that's for sure. So, but I think if you can lap within a half a second of the car ahead, you should be able to hold on to the driver. But anything more than that, and then they are going to start to stretch away.
It's going to be less of a fuel-saving battle, though, I think, and more of a traditional race, I think, if you can call it. If you can call it that, anyway. Still all 22 Ford Mustangs running. Michael Monaghan is at the back of the field with damage to the front of that number 69 car. Then Dan Carrido has been in all sorts of bother. He's a lap down at the moment in 38th place. The MX-5s.
I think we're settling in for a pretty good race at the front of the Mustangs, really. We've got 3 of the quickest drivers in Ford, Dam and Nom, especially around Sebring. Kevin Ford has made a name for himself. He won here last season. And Dave Henry, we were just talking about him at the beginning of the show. Commentators cursed him possibly because he's now dropped down to the back of the Mustang field. But yeah, these 3, Ford, Dam and Nom, inseparable after the opening 3 laps.
Looked like it might have been a slowdown or something for Henry. Mike Griffith, he's all right. Look, he pulled off to the side, to the right-hand side there. Making me wonder if he did get a slowdown penalty, but doesn't seem to be. Mike Dam's now turning the screw. He's right behind Kevin Ford. He is not giving an inch, and he wants through, and he might get through, but Not the easiest circuit to make a clean move on is Sebring.
Going through big bends here at turn 6, and now coming up to probably the clearest cut overtaking opportunity on the circuit here, the hairpin at turn 6.
Imagine the conversation about the corner naming.
Yes.
There. It's like, what should we call it? What should we call this big corner here? Yeah, big bend.
I love it.
Perfect.
Now Fangio here, a bit better named. Now it's turn 10 here. Really difficult overtaking spot because the course goes straight left afterwards. Mike Griffith unfortunately has had to come into the pits. So I don't know what happened there. It wasn't a tow either, so he went under his own power. But
normally that would be a decent right hand overtaking spot, like you said. But then it immediately. Oh, Mike Dam's internet's going off on one again. Yep, definitely. Look at that. That's dangerous for him. The championship leader. Oh, the championship leader, but the race winner from the first round. Incident involving cars 18 and 17 is under review. That is David Henry, and that is Mike Griffith. And in fact, more damage sustained by them. More damage sustained by Michael Monaghan as well. And I wonder, Alex, if we can't get some kind of replay or something like that.
Trying to see if I can.
Oh yeah, a lot of damage.
Dig it out, see exactly what's happened here. So right,
because Henry's been in the pits.
Is this after the incident or not? I think it might be after it. Might have to go back a bit
it
further.
was lap 3. It's lap 3 coming into the final sector.
Coming into turn 15, the final sector indeed. Oh, he gets hit, Henry.
Yeah.
Then Henry comes back and collects him.
Okay, let's go back. Should be able to see it here then.
And poor old Michael Monaghan already had damage. Gets more of it.
Oh, look at that replay.
And Aeronom's gone. Yes.
Aeronom's going into second. Yeah, how did you know I was going to say that?
Just noticed it.
There he is. Now, maybe Mike Dam's internet played a part in him losing that second place, but now Aeronom is in second and has a 3/4 of a second deficit to try and close up to Kevin Ford now.
Sometimes Mike Dam is so good that you often think that his competition is going to come from his internet provider, but I think Aeronom getting sideways.
Right through penalty for Mike Griffith, just to add insult to injury. He's currently in the pits already, but when he comes back out, he's going to have a drive-through penalty. So that is the view of the stewards. Alex, did you get a replay?
Yeah, we saw it. Yeah, we saw it. Wasn't like you say, it wasn't intentional, just a bit of a mistake. Just went in a bit deep, didn't he? Just tagged him and around the car head went. So just a bit unfortunate.
Sometimes you don't do anything majorly wrong. You just make a bit of contact, and that's what happens, really.
Yeah. Yeah, Cam. Just a bit frustrating when that happens, isn't it? You're kicking yourself usually in there. So.
The point is, you're already kicking yourself for making the contact, and then you get a penalty on top of it.
Just saw a replay of the non-overtake as well.
That thin line of causing an avoidable collision. That's all subjective. It's all down to the stewards. So there we go. Jim List, new driver for this one. Said on our notes he was in a Mustang, but he's in a Mazda, and he's already gained 2 positions. He's just gained another one, passing Zachary Rubin. He's up to 7th in class.
Ah, excellent. He just made the list.
Oh,
yes.
I think we could have some fun with that over the next
65 in list, and going through on. Trying to go through on Zachary Rubin, number 7. Not managing to do that.
Yeah, it was an attempt by the Midwestern, but the man from Virginia carrying on.
See if he can do it. I think it might be a good time, actually. Alex, I don't know about you, to see if we can go and have the first commercial break of the evening.
Yep, let's do it.
So we're going to go and see some products from our friends at Ricmotech. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes here on Apex Racing TV. Welcome back to Apex Racing TV, seeing a replay on the screen of how the lead in the MX-5 changed hands. John Allen going through, Rob Hartley running wide, Hartley down to third, and Adam's got news about David Payton. Yeah,
collision with him and Zachary Rubin. This could be another drive-through penalty for a driver here. Looks like he just missed the braking point, slammed into the back of David Payton going into the hairpin at turn 7, and both are able to rejoin, but Payton has got rear end damage and Rubin has got front damage to the front of the Mazda as well.
Yeah, just I don't know if you can get that one, Alex, as well, but just a plain misjudgment and a bit of a lock-up and, yeah, slamming into the back of Dave Payton and down the order is Payton, so won't be happy about that. Good racing in both categories so far, and now it's the turn of John Allen, who won last week at Daytona. Try and make it 2 out of 2.
And just as we saw that incident involving cars 64 and 7, that is the aforementioned Dave Payton and Zachary Rubin, is under investigation by the stewards. So we'll hear back from them pretty soon, I reckon.
Yeah, I'm not massively surprised that that is being looked at after that, really.
Race order then in the Mazdas on lap 6, just starting lap 7, is John Allen leading. We saw the replay of how he got the lead. Travis Schwenke in second, Rob Hartley down to third now in class. Brian Holmes fourth, and then Joe Boyd fifth with Jim Liss now at 3 positions to 6th. And Jeff Jacobs doing well, 4 positions gained in 7th place now.
Good. Early on in the race, of course, the pit stops are to come, so can throw away your good work in the pits. We have seen that. We saw some of it earlier on, didn't we, in the World GT Championship, Alex? Some drivers just didn't really get the pit stops perfectly right.
Yeah, it makes a big difference, you know. Talk about those, you know, the marginal gains that you can get from pit stops and things like that. You know, they just help in the long run.
Indeed. And quick look at the track temperature out there. It's 26 degrees, so decent level of pretty decent level of grip out there for the drivers, I think.
Yeah, I think anything in the 20s is very grippy. Even low 30s is you know, quite nice to drive in. So yeah, I imagine they're enjoying it out there right now.
May not have had the best race in the Mazda MX-5s last week at Daytona with the amount of fuel saving, but here today at Sebring, I think we've got another good one on our hands here. The top 4 are separated by just over a second or so. Yeah, just 9/10 going into the Le Mans complex here on lap 7. And John Allen, Travis Schwenke, Hartley and Holmes all together, and a drive-through penalty for Zachary Rubin. That's the very quick response by the stewards. And yeah, just going down this back straight now, we saw in the strategy that we were doing at the beginning of the show that this Mazda class could have a lot of strategy in terms of the fuel and the tyres. So I think we're in for a good one here as we've just completed the 18-minute mark.
Yeah, and I think these battles are going to run and run, especially at the front of this category. Travis Schwenke is now looking very racy indeed, as he's going side by side with John Allen. Let's see what he can do then. The start-finish line, trying to go side by side. Good. That John Allen car pulling nicely down the straight. Be a little quicker in a straight line that time, but Schwenke doing a good job of just sitting. He likes to just sit in second place, and I know we go on about it all the time, Alex, but he sits in second place. He'll save the fuel required. He'll probably have a quicker pit stop, find himself in the lead. That's generally how he goes.
Yeah, quite common, isn't it? So
surprised the rest of them haven't figured it out yet, to be honest. But John Allen, you know, it did work out for him last time, didn't it? He did win last time out of Daytona.
Quite amazing that his last win prior to that was, guess what, Daytona.
There you go.
It's season 9, so he's a bit of a Daytona specialist.
Yeah, well, definitely some Daytona specialists this week anyway. Daytona 24 hours of racing. So, an interesting race, controversial finish in the top split as well, which actually turned out to not be so controversial in the end. So it's the iRacing special events never dull, Alex. I'll tell you that.
No, never dull. Few server issues and things like that really got the guys going, didn't they? So, but yeah, and then unfortunately some disconnects in race and some interesting decisions from iRacing with letting people use the same rig. But yeah, and then a final lap showdown where there's a bit of collision. So, what do you say?
It did mimic it did mimic the 2017 did on a 24-hour race. Adam.
Oh dear, crash! It's Ruddock.
Which
Russell
one?
Russell Ruddock.
Russell Ruddock. Let's see what's going on there.
Now
It's a crash with Andrew Lanning. Ruddock runs wide. He loses the rear.
That's on his way there. I think he was already on his way off the circuit.
He was out of it, yep. Nothing that Lanning could do there.
Has got going again. Russell Ruddock down to 16th place now, just behind his relation Michael Ruddock.
Does not look particularly... I'm not sure. He'll be able to get that back to the pits, certainly, but he'll make use of it anymore for the rest of the race. I don't know. I don't really know what rear damage is like. He's got absolutely zero damage to the front of the car, but that cannot be handling well, that's for sure.
Mustangs are looking very, very good here. The top 6 separated by just 2.5 seconds. No one has been able to make a break in the early 20 minutes or so. Kevin Ford leads the way over Aero Non by 4/10 of a second. Just behind this train, there's some side-by-side action between Brandon Whitworth and Tyler Schiffler, I believe. That's over 8th, 9th and 10th.
Yeah, Brandon Whitworth, former Open class champion, and with Travis Davis having a fun start to the race as well. Tyler Schiffler just behind him as well. So
Hey, what?
3 very good drivers battling over the lower reaches of the top 10. I'll tell you what, Adam, we wouldn't have seen this. Wouldn't have seen this a couple of seasons ago, really. These guys would have been fighting in the top 5. It's just how the level has gone up at the front.
Yeah, we saw in the interview with Dave Henry how he was talking about the quality that the series has. It seems to be going stronger and stronger each season. This is about our 3rd or 4th season covering the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, and I think we've seen it here, and it's being mirrored here in how everyone is so close in the top class, in the Mustang class here after 22 minutes. We're not too far away from the pit window opening either.
Michael Ruddock's had a crash, I think. He dropped down the order massively. Yeah, he's in the pits.
Now it's a scheduled stop, and you can see by the damage it probably isn't. So, what happened to Michael? We saw what happened to Russell.
So there's an incident involving, bear with us on this, cars 5, 94, 18 and 37. How have they all managed to get... Let's have a look, let's see. Car 5 is Corey Wharton, car 94 is Michael Ruddock, car 18 is Andrew Lanning, and car 37 is Matthew Catila.
Right then, if we can get a replay of this, what's going on is going into the hairpin on the previous lap. Michael Ruddock gets hit behind by Matthew Catila. Then Michael Ruddock goes head on into the Mustang of Corey Wharton. And then Wharton has to go for a trip across the grass as well. So a bit of a mess there going into the hairpin, and a very tough job for the stewards to pick out who, if anybody, is to blame. Maybe Catila for starting it all off.
Yeah, just watching it back on a replay now. It took me a while to bring it up on screen, but yeah, hefty hits for a lot of them there.
3 cars, 3 crashes in the first 25 minutes. These guys have lost their minds out there. Liverpool. The driving standards have gone downhill. As we're going through the final corner, making a move. Then Stephen Thomas, like he's trying to attack Mike Dam. I think he can do it.
Well,
very close to him, but no slipstream really.
Well, I did call it. Drive-through penalty for car 37, and that is Matthew Catila. So
Mike Dam's made a mistake as well. Matthew Catila. Stephen Thomas brakes to avoid overtaking Mike Dam, it looked like, because that was going to be a slam dunk overtake there, Alex, and he just didn't want to have that for some reason.
Yeah, maybe he felt like it would just be a bit risky.
There was no risk in that at all. He was there. He was going to be through. As long as he was late on the brakes into the left-hander, he would have made it. There's absolutely no risk involved, in my opinion. There. That's why I'm sat here, though, and not in the race. Really, Dan makes another mistake. Thomas with a chance this time. He's already alongside car 93 and he's through. Mike Dam actually lifts out of that. Thomas up into the podium places and looking strong.
A little bit of a gap's just started to form just while that battle was going on. I've got no doubt that Stephen Thomas will try and close it up, and here they are. They're starting to lap some of the Mazdas here. This is Zachary Rubin, who has been in for a drive-through penalty.
Oh dear me, right in front of the leaders. Oh, he almost got the death wiggle on. He would have come right back into the path of Kevin Ford there, Alex. He wasn't very fortunate.
Yeah, it was extremely lucky. Last thing you want to do, isn't it?
Oh dear, I've done that before. It's not a good feeling at all. I once took the well, I think you guys know the story. Viewers at home might not, but I once took out the leaders in a Daytona 500 after crashing with a damaged car with about 5 laps to go. It's an awful feeling.
Well, you exited that session pretty quickly.
I finished the race.
Oh, 3 cars off. 3 cars off in the first corner, and all Mazdas. Jim List is one of them.
Who else does the list include?
McMurphy involved as well, I think.
Dave Payton as well.
So Payton ends up... Whoa! Dear me, that's a big one.
And Lyndall McMurphy too.
That's a big one for McMurphy. I think McMurphy will be out. Wow, absolute bumps. I was going to say carnage. I think we can say carnage, can't we? In the... really, some big crashes going on. And the stewards really having the work cut out for them here this evening. Or this morning, even.
A throwback to when we were the stewards. We only had one incident to look at, and it was no further action.
Yeah, it was just like, yeah, those guys are all right. We'll leave them to it. Yeah.
Either that, or they were told best behaviour because we were the stewards. Matthew Katina comes in and serves his drive-through penalty, so he gets that one done. He's on his way again. He hasn't lost too many places after that either. He's back where he started in 15th place.
Doing the scheduled pit stops now, Adam, according to the documentation that we were given.
Yeah, we've got just 27 minutes into this one, so we're quickly approaching the halfway point in this race as Kevin Ford continues to lap more of the Mazdas. He's just lapping John Allen there, who had to come in for a 20.9 second stop, so he is doing the strategy again, isn't he, really? So we'll wait and see if it works. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does.
It's Allen's going really wide there. And, I thought he might have been crashing, but he was just giving a wide berth to the Mustangs. There is a lot of runoff area in this part of the track. It's one of those weird tracks, Alex, isn't it? Some parts of it are really narrow with no runoff area, and then some are just... You might as well be Silverstone, like it's an airfield of space.
Yeah, it's a bit like Watkins in that sense. You know, there's a couple of areas where you've got lots of runoff, and then others nothing. You know, the wall's right there next to you, so if you make the mistake, you know, it's almost race over.
Some bits almost remind me of Croft. That just dawned on me.
Yeah.
Dawned on me to just then.
Mike Dam's in the pits. In fact, there's a few of them in. Aaron Om's in as well.
Vigas.
And Vigas in as well. We'll see what sort of showing we get from Vigas this week, Alex. He kind of fell off last week, didn't he? But we still expect him to do well in the second half of this one.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Just he's notorious for being strong in the second half of the race, isn't he? And he didn't really happen last week.
No, it didn't. But there's always time to to get a good result here. Away goes
Nom.
It is Nom, yeah.
Yeah, 19.6 for Nom.
Bit of a traffic jam actually at the exit of the pit lane. Edgar Santinelli and Clint Vargas almost coming together, but sorted that one out.
Now time for Kevin Ford to put the hammer down then. See what the gap is. It's about 39 seconds to Aero Nom, it says on my timing screen, so that's going to be pretty close if he comes into the pits at the end of this lap. I'm expecting cars in between now and the 37-minute mark, so basically the next 2 or 3 laps, and see if Kevin Ford is able to hold on to this lead, which he has held since the very first lap of the race.
Yeah, just come up to 2:07 UK time. Kevin Ford currently with a 2-second lead, but as I mentioned, has not visited the pit lane yet.
Step back in on the Mazdas then. Rob Hartley leads the way there. He's got a bit of company as well. He's got Travis Schwenke and Brian Holmes really harassing the back of him.
Just thought Hartley there, just almost out of shape, really coming onto the sort of main straight. The toys with the grass there, but it's okay.
We get to see these cars come into the pits, apart from John Allen, who runs his own schedule really, and strategy as well.
He does what he wants. He does what he wants. But he does pit whenever he feels like he can make it work, and you know, oftentimes he can make it work, and he did last week at Daytona. But again, we'll see what he can do this time. Leon Wright in the pits, Stephen Thomas and Kevin Ford are in, so the remaining Ford Mustangs coming in the background. You have got Travis Davis,
Tyler Schiffler, Brandon Whitworth, they're all coming in. I think Andrew Lanning is staying out. We'll wait and see, but I'm looking at Aero Nom at the moment. He's just coming into the final corner. What's the situation like with Kevin Ford and Stephen Thomas?
Still
stationary at the minute, it's going to be close.
4 tyres it looks like as well.
Yeah, 19-second stop for Nom. Kevin Ford is 20, it's 21.9, it's 21.9.
It's going to be close here. Ford and Thomas. Ford should make it out. He was slightly ahead. Here comes Mike Dan.
Aero Nom's got the lead by quite a margin.
Yeah, Nom. Didn't even see Nom in the shot. He's that far in front.
What an outlap that was.
Oh, and look at the car in front of Aero Nom, Corey Water, who hasn't stopped yet. Look at the damage to the rear.
Right, this is the situation now then. Aero Nom is the effective race leader. Second is Mike Dan. Third is Clint Vargas. Fourth is Kevin Ford.
It didn't work out for the guys pitting later. The undercut was in full effect there, and it is a sort of circuit, Alex, with 17 corners, and it's pretty tough on tyres. You know, you're not surprised that the undercut worked well.
Yeah, no, I'm not at all, and most of the guys who pitted slightly earlier are actually like a second or so shorter stationary as well, so they've nailed the pit stop. So, yeah, that's those small margins again that we talk about.
Every week, you seem to mention it, don't we? And there it was again. But again, race not over. However, we have seen in the Mustangs that track position looks like it's king around this circuit, Adam, and oh dear me, it's almost kicks up the dirt. Yeah, it's tough to overtake, isn't it? Especially when these guys are so evenly matched at the front.
This might as well be the toughest track of the year for overtaking, I reckon.
Oh, sorry guys, I just need to quickly jump in that most of the leading MX-5s are in. Holmes gets away well. Spanky 2.
Spanky's in lead.
Where is
Alan's coming down the straight?
Where's Alan?
He's coming through. He's going to take the lead, I'm sure.
Yes, surely.
Yeah, he has. He's going to take the lead, John Allen.
Undercut works supreme, even in the Mazdas.
Beautiful strategy then from John Allen.
Got to make it home now. We've seen it before where he's run out of fuel before the line.
We have actually. He's not one for always getting the fuel mileage right, but we're hoping he can do that this time, of course, and make it to the top step of the podium. Aero Nom has decided, I'm out of here, guys. 1.8 seconds over Mike Dan. Mike Dan was quicker than him, though. 1 second on the previous lap, so...
That lady's not singing yet.
No. not even warming up the vocal cords with 1 second a lap if he keeps up that sort of pace. But Nom got such a good track position that, yeah, the less tyres, did Nom take less tyres than the rest of them? I don't know, because
it's not a big
enough gap, yeah.
They're all mid-19s and low 20s, so yeah.
Not a big enough gap for them to have done anything majorly different there, so.
Some might just have wanted to stay to get that last little drop of fuel in. They were in it slightly earlier than originally scheduled as well, so.
It does say, well, I don't know, they were about the right time, weren't they? Between, said originally that it was going to be between 32 and 37 minutes of the race. So it was about what we thought. But it did say that they need to put all the fuel in.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to short fill it, if you're trying to be clever, then you might get caught out. The lucky thing, Alex, around here is though that it's quite a flat circuit, so it's not like Road America. You've got that giant hill to go up at the end of the lap.
Of course, yeah, you should be able to trickle across the line if needs be. And of course, the drivers that have been following in the draft, you know, they should be okay as well. You'd be surprised how much that saves fuel. Who's that off the track in front of
PD?
Dem?
No, sorry.
One of the MX-5s, I'm not sure who.
Taylor? It's Taylor.
I think I'm trying to find it, yeah.
Mike Taylor. Not the Birmingham City goalkeeper.
Close. Kevin Ford. Having a right old look at Clint Vargas there, but couldn't quite get through. Oh,
he's hit the wall. Yeah, Kevin Ford into the wall. Damage to the front corner of that Ford Mustang. That'd be costly, that could be. Oh dear.
The already very little aero damage has been hampered a bit more. Well,
it's okay. The car's still tracking straight. Just went on board there. No need to adjust the steering wheel or anything like that. Hold it off centre.
Jim List is out. Now he's too badly damaged.
Also,
that crash, and I'm not surprised. So he's behind the wall now for the rest of the race.
Also, the incident that we saw about 10 minutes ago involving that big crash involving the two Mazdas has been reviewed. No further action between them. That's just a racing incident.
Oh, it's getting tasty. What will be the net lead as well?
Oh!
The MX-5s.
Stephen Thomas nearly crashed. Another 3 wide. Oh dear.
This could be interesting.
Now we're Thomas and Ford side by side. Sorry to derail that, Alex. It's just, I thought there was going to be an almighty one.
That's great by Ford.
Going to get in front again. He does.
Oof. Just before Tower as well.
Joe Boyd is the other man in that is at the back of that group. I think Vargas in the middle, and then Pasquale Iannucci, who's been unusually pretty anonymous in this race, P6. But yeah, as he was saying that, back to the net. Lead in the MX-5s. It's Allen versus Holmes versus Travis Schwenke.
Yes, if anyone goes for a move into Sunset, I think they're all just sort of staying as they are.
Yeah, these guys are just about to become the leaders again as Jason Walsh, Dave Payton and Jeff Jacobs all come in to make their one and only visits to the pits with just over 20 minutes to go.
Dipping up nicely this one.
And it is, yeah, it's looking pretty good here.
Yeah, and I think it's the kind of circuit where you're going to have to go for it in the late going. Oh, it's traffic for the MX-5s. Car 34, that's Raymond Smith. Unfortunately, has emerged from his pit stop. Well, unfortunately for him, emerged from his pit stop right with the MX-5 leaders. And we've covered this before, Alex. The MX-5 is quicker in the corners than the Ford, and it pulls away down the straight. So the Mustang drivers, they don't really want to let the MX-5 drivers by in the corners because they're just losing so much time.
Yep. Yeah,
he has let them through, but now of course he's going to get Now, of course, Schwenke's quick. Oh, they've got contact!
Oh, Travis got out of that well, just to be honest. He's still in this race. Lost a little bit of time, but he could see what was going to happen there and just dived onto the brakes. And so many people just keep their shoe in it there.
But that is exactly what we were just talking about, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah.
And that's what the Mustang drivers don't like, letting the Mazdas through, because the Mazdas can do that to them in the corners. And just it's the same with the Mazdas. They don't like sometimes letting the Mustangs draw alongside them, because it'll hold them up a lot if they have to wait behind them. It's such a difficult game, and that's why endurance racing, Adam, is so tough, and it's so mentally draining, because even in an hour-long race only, all these factors to consider.
Yeah, and that turn 6 hairpin is really tough as well, as Vigas and Thomas scrap over 4th place. That turn 6 hairpin, you've got the hairpin bit first, right, then it goes left and right again, and it's pretty difficult if you're alongside and having to fight a bit of traffic as well to really position your car so that everyone can get by. And yeah, Paul Raymond Smith and Travis Schwenke both getting stuck together on the exits. A bit of bad luck on both of them, really. Schwenke gets going again in 4th, and Raymond Smith maintains his position as being 19th in class, and that is the 23rd overall. He's cut adrift now, Raymond, so we're hoping for a better final quarter of the race, as we've got 19 minutes to go.
We'll just see if we will see if the stewards will be reviewing that. I'm sure they will. But Schwenke has lost about 5 seconds due to that. So it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But,
that's what might save an investigation, yeah.
But it could potentially put Schwenke off the podium. And it's reprieved John Allen a bit, Alex, because now he leads by 1 second over Brian Holmes. 2:27.0 for him on the last lap. Holmes at 27.6, so a good time. Although Rob Hartley 26.1. Hartley's flying out there.
Back to them, isn't he? Somewhat.
Now Hartley's got the same issue with the Mustangs as what the others had. These are the leading Mustangs. It's Nom, it's Dam. Behind them is Ford.
Yeah, we've got the two leaders in both classes on the same bit of track, haven't we? Nom going up the inside there of Brian Holmes, going into turn 10.
Normally that comes at the end of the proceedings, but it is such a long lap here.
That's taken a while to get to them, hasn't it?
Yeah, indeed.
Ford is catching up as well.
Yeah, and so is Dan.
The pit stop where he lost the lead.
2:20.5 on the last lap by Mike Dam. That is quicker than Aero Nom, who did a 2:20.9.
It's all bubbling up quite nicely here in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Here on Apex Racing TV, Andrew Woodhouse, Adam Bath, Alex Simpson with you at Sebring International Raceway. And with about 15 minutes to go, Alex, I think we should take our second break and yeah, go and again see what the Ricmotech guys have got to offer everybody in sim racing. Welcome back to the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series here on Apex Racing TV. from the Sebring International Raceway in the United States. Andrew Woodhouse alongside Alex Simpson and Adam Bath. And Alex, I'll bring you in first, mate. This race has been very exciting, actually slightly chaotic in terms of a lot of crashes that have taken place. A bit unusual for this series, but it has made for quite an interesting race in terms of different drivers be fighting it out.
Yeah, we're not used to seeing so many crashes, are we? The stewards had has made his worth, showed his worth today.
I think he's retired after that last one. He hasn't even investigated
Ryan
that
Cobb,
last one.
yeah.
Earned his money, that's for sure. And I think we've had a good race. It's just so unusual, isn't it, to see that? But just looking at Nom and Dam, they're really starting to size each other up here as well. And you've got Ford coming at them at about 0.6 of a second a lap as well. So he's going to be there at the end of the race. So the Mustang's looking very, very good. MX-5s, well, that's closed back up as well. You've got Holmes just 0.8 of a second behind Allen now. Hartley right there. Unfortunately, we lost Travis from the battle, although he's still racing, but he's about 5 seconds back. So he hopes they really start to go at each other and slow themselves down.
I always get embarrassed asking the question because I cannot see the official time left. Do you have it, Adam?
Yeah, 14.5 minutes to go here.
Okay, so
Let's see.
Yeah, about 6 or 7 laps, and that's all. And when you consider it's so tough to overtake, well, it's tough. It's not tough to really have a chance to overtake, but it's completing the move here because there's so many corners, Adam, that suddenly it goes from a right-hander to a left-hander, or it switches back, so it flip-flops the advantage to the other person.
Yeah, and the track isn't very wide in the hard braking zones, is it? So it's very difficult for cars to go side by side on entry and on exit of these corners. So if you pull off a move here, it's always going to be one that's well executed. And looking at the lap times again, Dam continues to lap quicker than Nom. It looked like some of these drivers were a bit anomalous in this one. We're coming back into it here with Dan doing a 220.1 and Ford doing a 220.9.
Well, that's the best bad grammar pun that I've heard in quite some time. That was quite good.
An aeronominous.
Yes, indeed. And we go from nominous to ominous. Rob Hartley closed in by 0.7 of a second on John Allen, 0.2 of a second on Brian Holmes. And Alex is getting towards the point now where he's decided he needs to go. Does Rob Hartley? Who's going to make it to the front?
Yeah, he seems to time it well, doesn't he, Rob, always. So now he's making the moves, and I think give it a few laps. We'll see if he can sort of get to the front and maybe try and build a little gap while they're fighting behind.
John Allen then leads the way in the Mazdas. Second is Brian Holmes. Third is Rob Hartley. Fourth, Travis Schwenke. We've mentioned him. It's just at the back of the shot. And then in fifth place in the Mazdas, it is Joe Boyd. But the people that are going to be fighting for the win, it is the front three here of Allen, Holmes and Hartley.
Judging by previous seasons and previous races between these very drivers, it could well be another photo finish like we saw in the Mustang last week.
Mentioned who won here last year in the Mustangs. That was Kevin Ford, and in the Mazdas it was Rob Hartley. So maybe it might be time to get your money on Rob Hartley to win a second year in a row here.
Could have a double here. Oh, Allen very sideways, and he was lucky. We have seen cars on this. We have seen them put two wheels on the dirt there and end up slamming into the left-hand wall.
Yeah, we have plenty of times. So the way we won there, did Allen.
We've all done it here as well.
I just want to say sorry to the guys that we haven't covered much of tonight. There's been a lot of cars that we haven't really been able to get hold of, but there's just been such great battles out there.
For the lead, Brian Holmes, Alex, into the hairpin. Late on the brakes. Leaves a lot of room again for Allen. Talk about this every week. There leaves too much space sometimes, but Holmes, is he through, or is Allen still alongside? into the right-hander here now. Alan carries a lot of speed in. He can't maintain that surely. But he's, oh wow, he can. He switches to the left. Brilliant from John Allen.
It was Rob Hartley though, into Tower. Hartley will have the inside line for the Tower bend here, but look at Allen. Swoops around the outside. He's not going to hit the apex by any stretch of the imagination though.
This is exactly, Adam, though, what we were talking about, mate, is that, you know, you can have an overtaking attempt here. There are plenty of places you can try a move, but completing it is a real difficult job.
Cars on the outside seem to have a pretty good job of holding on to the positions here. We just saw there with John Allen. It looked like he'd have to yield, but it looks like he's been able to hold on. Now we're onto the Ormond straight though, and once again the slipstream will kick in. It's a lot more effective in the Mazda than it is in the Mustang. See if this could be the opportunity for Holmes to get it done with 10 minutes to go now.
Get onto the concrete section of the course here. Sunset bend, he's going to try again. Is Brian Holmes, he twitches through the middle of the corner. He'll get the advantage in terms of the short route here, but Allen uses that momentum going all the way around the outside. Hartley's going to follow him in second place. So the tight line does not work for the Mazdas at all.
Wow.
He's gone from trying to make a move for the lead, Alex, to losing second place in just a flash.
Yeah, he just didn't get a very good sort of bounce, did he, over the bumps, and that's the trouble with the tight line through Sunset. That's where the biggest bump is. So just couldn't get on the just couldn't get on the power like he wanted to. So yeah,
worth a shot. It up for later. Though,
yeah, exactly.
You don't want to do that.
Shot. He knows not to try and do that on the final lap. It's not going to work.
If he can force, whoever it is, if the attacking driver can force the opponent to the inside, then that might be where the money is, as Tyler Shiflett making his way past back markers.
Just want to point
Whitworth, actually,
out a little battle that's going on further back, just so we can try and cover some extra stuff, is Jason Walsh and Jeff Jacobs. Pretty close. They were 0.2 of a second separating them.
Oh my God, speaking of close. Hartley is trying to go through for the lead on Allen. Allen rolls reverse now, Adam, one lap to the next. He's now on the outside for, was on the inside at Tower and now into the right-hander.
Holds on, doesn't get the best of exit though.
He hit the curve though,
didn't he? Open up, let Hartley get the run.
Here comes Holmes as well.
Last year's winner fancies his chances to hit the front. Rob Hartley gets the inside, and neither's John Allen, but Rob Hartley hits the front for the first time here.
Yeah, and he's had the pace, and he convert the pace into race victory. Look how he's trying to build the gap. He's really pushing hard. He's using all the road. Now here comes some Ford Mustangs as well, just to make it even more problematic, even more chaotic at the front. We've only got about 7 minutes to go.
Yeah, 7.5 minutes to go.
So only 4 laps.
We were talking about Jason Walsh briefly. He's driven this track in real life a few weeks ago.
Oh wow, okay. Some great transferable skills there then. And Walsh is in 27th place. That's 8th in class.
Car off. Stephen Thomas was battling. Yeah, was battling with Clint Vigus, but yeah.
And off then, was it, or?
Yeah, it just lost. It didn't hit anything, but now he's under pressure from Pasquale Iannucci.
We have a top 3 fight in both classes now, as Kevin Ford has joined the party.
Yeah, that means he's quick, doesn't it? Because he was 2 or 3 seconds behind, and you don't often catch up 2 or 3 seconds on Aero Nom. And we'll see what can happen here. Mike Dam stalking him.
Well, this
Estonia versus Canada versus the United States.
That's Europe versus North America, really. And it's you've got USA, Canada, and then you've got Estonia here with Aero Nom. You lost out at Daytona by 1,000th of a second. Doesn't want that to happen here. We're making sure that he can keep Mike Dam back for as long as he possibly can.
Could well happen though, you know. As in,
finish.
Could be a photo finish of just a few thousands.
We seem to be the home of photo finishes here on Apex Racing TV. We've had a literal dead heat in the BSRTC back in 2015. We've had 1,000ths of a second, 2,000ths, and quite a few more of them along the way as well.
Goes to show how many races we've commentated on, the fact that we've seen that amount of close races.
Oh yeah. Seems like it's a tradition, but it is a tradition that we do enjoy very, very much.
Entering our 5th year now of us being in the commentary box, and obviously Andrew Woodhouse and Alex Simpson. That stretches back a little bit further with you guys as well. Entering year 8.
Yeah, crazy.
Amazing, really, isn't it?
This battle for the lead could last for another 5 minutes. You can see that Nom's sliding about there on the exit of turn 4, and now going through big bends here and on the way to the hairpin at turn 6. Could this be Dam's first opportunity? Looking to the outside as we get on the brakes going into the hairpin here at turn 6. Both equally late on the brakes, but it is Nom that's able to hold on to the advantage. Car 78 to the 4 here, and Mike Dam trying everything he can to try and pressurise the car in front into a mistake as we go towards turn 9.
Not many chances left then for Mike Dam. Alex?
Yeah, side by side into the braking zone.
Oh!
Big contact! Surely that could have opened the door.
Before
forward round the outside. Going to become the inside though here. Very, very shortly.
there we go.
Kevin Ford late on the brakes. Decisive move there.
Probably a crucial move as well if he wants to have a say in winning this one.
Well, it looks like we might have lost Corey as well. Yeah.
Looks
a lot
like he
of damage
did toe.
for Wharton though earlier on.
Yeah.
Now look at Dam now. He's really having to try and make an immediate move back on Kevin Ford here. Traffic 2.
They disposed of that pretty easily. It was good that it was on the Allman straight. They didn't want it in any of the tricky stuff in like turns 9, 10 or even Tower. They've been able to get by, and look at Ford.
Dam just about gets through and has to really go, really take a wide line there into the corner, but all single file through Sunset Bend, looking at the Mazdas, and look at them.
Ultimate lap.
Look how close they are to each other. There's 2 laps to go.
John Allen then.
Great that we've got top 3 in both classes battling it out with 2 laps to go.
I'm worried we're going to miss something because it is so close. Here comes Rob Hartley.
Wants to lead
Maybe
back.
a rehearsal for the final lap, Adam. It's into Sunset Bend, but he is on that tight line that Brian Holmes was struggling with. What can Hartley do with it?
See what he can do here. He's
Much
the lead.
better, look at that.
There you go, and he's almost back onto the racing line already. John Allen trying to get the cut back here as we go through the final corner.
Oh, good momentum. This could be the rehearsal for a photo finish.
It would be Hartley on top if that was the finish.
Super close. Super driving.
Hartley takes a very tight line there into turn 1.
Shortish straight to into 2, but Allen might make this work here. Using that big long cutback up the inside, very low on the brakes. Gets it done. Nice move again. And these two are really putting on a show, Alex.
This is what we want to see, isn't it? Closing few laps of the race. And all of a sudden, Holmes just dropped off.
Yeah, Adam thought you had dropped off as well.
I wasn't far off it, I tell you.
At that point, it's a good job we've got all 3 classes, because we wouldn't have had much of a broadcast at
Are
the end.
you not entertained as Allen and Hartley continue their side-by-side battle on the exit of the hairpin?
Oh, and Nom's all over the place as well, trying to maintain the lead. I don't know where to look, I don't know what to watch. Side by side between Hartley and Allen. Again.
The top two and the Mustangs are half a second apart. That's nothing.
Oh,
We'll focus on this Mazda's.
Alan just sliding the car. Somehow managing to...
Nom going very defensive. Here comes Ford. Oh, but damn, maybe around the outside of the pair of them.
Oh, now they're side by side.
Momentum.
Yeah, it was half a second about 10 seconds ago. It's back down to nothing again as they now start the final lap.
Oh, no, he's crashed, Kevin Ford. And he contacted with Mike Dam as well, but Dam survives. Just
Such a
about.
shame.
He's got damage to the rear corner though. Aeronom.
Thomas, he knew
Absolutely
he's
laughing.
there. So Ford just needs to finish this race. You're right, I think he was a little bit of contact with Dam, so that's going to have...
He lost it on his...
He bounced off the wall and did collect Mike Dam slightly.
Yeah, but the way it started was nothing to do with Dam, was
Oh my
it?
God, look at the Mazdas. It ain't
Hartley's
over
coming.
yet.
And Holmes having a look on the inside. And if he can try and get 2 for 1 special here, Brian Holmes.
They're starting their final lap now.
3 different lines as they come to the white flag, Adam.
Clock is at 0, so this will be the start of the final lap for them. And Brian Holmes looked like he was out of the battle about a lap ago, but he's drawn himself back into it here and is looking to try and get past John Allen into the first corner now.
Crazy, isn't it? We'll keep an eye on this one for now. Mike Dam isn't done in the other battle, actually. He's closing back in slightly. But it is Hartley, it is Allen, and it is Holmes. As it usually is, really, in this series. 3 of these drivers locked together, and it is once more on the final lap.
Incident involving cars 95 and 4 under investigation. And car 95 is Russell Ruddock. Car 4 is Joe Boyd. And in fact, 2 cars have just towed back to the pits, Joe Boyd and Jeff Jacobs. So that might be something to look at a little later on.
Aeronom has just about got enough here, I think. Onto the back straight for the final time. He's only got Sunset Bend to go before he takes the victory here. See then. Mike Dam is closing in. I don't quite think it's going to be enough. Aeronom on Sunset Bend. The checkered flag is out. And it flies for Aeronom. It flies for TBR. It takes the win. Mike Dam in second place. It's going to be Clint Vigas, who did have a very strong second half of the race. Did come into third place.
Right then.
Now, what's happening here?
Mazda win then. Here we go then into the Le Mans complex now, into turn 16, the penultimate corner, and onto the Ormond Straight. Has Rob Hartley got enough in it to hold on to the win here? He's been chasing John Allen the last few laps, now he's having to defend from him.
Yeah, and oh dear me, let's see. This is going to be close. Going to be very, very close. So many different options into Sunset Bend. Hartley's on the inside, Allen's on the outside. So many different lines. Oh, Holmes almost into the wall. It's going to be Rob Hartley. Surely who's going to take it. It's going to be close. But Rob Hartley's going to get there and win the MX-5 category here at Sebring, ahead of John Allen and ahead of Brian Holmes. What a finish once again. Brilliant job from all concerned there.
Jeff Jacobs and Joe Boyd for 4th. This is still fairly close.
Yeah, both of these cars had to pit at the end of the last lap because they hadn't got enough fuel in. Both splash and dashes for both.
Yeah, so they're a bit further behind then, aren't they? They're not going to get 4th. Going to be that's going to be
Jason Walsh that gets 5th.
Yeah, I'm
Benke
guessing your
4th.
timing screen just...
Benke 4th, Walsh 5th. I think Payton's out somehow. I don't think he made it.
Dave Payton.
Joe Boyd coming through the final corner. He will get P6, sorry, P7 in the MX-5s.
No, Joe Boyd P6.
Sorry, it's 6. Sorry,
yeah,
Payton,
Jacobs
sorry.
7th, yeah. Zachary Rubin is on his way to 8th, plus a drive-through penalty for him, so not too bad really. 3 positions gained. Then it's going to be Edgar Sanchinelli that gets 9th. But yeah, mystery about Dave Payton.
Yeah, and David Henry coming through to complete his first Ricmotech Sports Car Series race at Sebring, at least. He does finish the race. It looks a bit battered and bruised, 17th. Starting in 20th. So it looks like everybody is... looks like everybody has finished, Adam. So if you could take us through the finishing order then, please.
Okay, so Aeronom was denied by 1,000th of a second at Daytona. He wins here today at Sebring by 7/10 of a second. Mike Dunn makes it a first and a second from the opening 2 races. And Clint Vigas finishing on the podium in 3rd. Stephen Thomas finishing 4th. Pasquale Iannucci 5th. 6th for Leon Wright. Then last year's winner, Kevin Ford, finishing in 7th after a massive slide. The equivalent of a high side on the motorbike, really, going through the final corner, which eliminated him from the lead battle. Finished in 7th. Tyler Schiffler 8th, started 8th. 9th, Brandon Whitworth, and 10th for Andrew Lanning. TD Travis Davis finishing in 11th. 12th for Jennifer McDonald. Matthew Katila had a drive-through penalty, but still managed to come home 2 positions higher than where he started. Then Russell Ruddock 14th. 15th for Michael Monaghan. 16th for Robert Briss. Dave Henry finishing in 17th. And 18th, 1 lap down, Raymond Smith. Then Rob Hartley takes the victory in the Mazda MX-5. That is his first win of the season and adds to his win at Sebring from the previous season. John Allen finishing in 2nd. Once again, the strategy seemed to work to perfection. Even though he finished in 2nd, he still was able to gain quite a few positions from his very early pit stop. Brian Holmes finishing in 3rd. Travis Fenke 4th. Jason Walsh, after racing at Sebring in real life, wonder if it carried over to help him finish in 5th there. Then 6th for Joe Boyd, 7th for Jeff Jacobs, both of those two having to stop late for a little bit extra fuel. Then Zachary Rubin, drive-through penalty didn't stop his progress to 26th. Then Edgar Sanchinelli 27th, Dave Payton 28th, and then Michael Key 29th and 30th for Mike Taylor. Then cars that had issues during the race, Corey Wharton, the Mustang, and Dan Carrido, Scott Brooks, Lyndall McMurphy, big crash, Jim List in that big crash as well. Then Chris Torman, Michael Ruddock, Mike Griffith, and then Mike Griffith, the first car out of the race, finishing in 38th place. Right then, we have got some quick fire interviews, and I think they're going to have to be with our
I think we just need to get the winners, to be honest.
Yeah, Aeronom and Rob Hartley. We'll get them both in together, and we'll start with Aeronom, our winner.
Yeah, we are out of time, really. So Aeronom joins us in the commentary box. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Well, welcome into the commentary box. I believe it's the first time for you in here with us. So, how do you see that race then? Because that was one where it looked like it could have gone either way. It was quite difficult to overtake here, and you managed to. Really, the strategy was what did it.
Yeah. I didn't take 4 tires, so that was the strategy. And if you're in front, it's fairly easy to defend. Of course, it can happen, you can go side by side in the corners, but that's the game.
It is indeed, and you played it perfectly. You got a couple of second lead afterwards, and then you were helped when Kevin Ford crashed, and it just put that little bit of time between yourself and Mike Dam. It just meant that you weren't under threat going into the last lap, and really I bet you could just concentrate on your own race on the last couple of laps instead of looking behind you all the time.
Yeah, definitely. The last lap there was no pressure, so maybe Kevin had 4 new tires. Maybe he had something for me, but sadly he crashed. I saw in the mirror.
Well, after losing out by 1,000th of a second last week, this must be pretty sweet for you. Is there anybody you'd like to thank or say hello to on the broadcast tonight?
Yeah, thanks you guys and my team. I want to say also that not happy that I got 2 incidents. That means I lost 1 point there. So
rubbish, absolute rubbish. What are you playing? Come on.
Yeah. I know.
But
2 incidents at Sebring and he's moaning. I don't know.
That's it. With that look, we'll get rid of him. Aero, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Cheers then. And Adam has found Rob Hartley.
Oh, Rob Hartley, another classic Mazda MX-5 battle, and just like last season, you're able to come out on top.
Oh yes, another epic battle with us three there at the end.
John Allen, he always seems to be pulling off these strategies. He's nowhere in the first stint, but he's always fighting in amongst with you guys at the very end.
Yeah, he knew we were sitting behind him saving fuel there, so I think he decided to pit early and try to make us burn some of that fuel we were saving.
Another win at Sebring to go with your win here last season. Is it probably one of your more favourite tracks on the calendar?
Oh yeah, I definitely favor the flat tracks. I like them a lot better. It's so flat around here, it's good for me.
Well, next week we go to the track that's probably the opposite of flat, Circuit of the Americas. You got much practice going for that one?
That's going to be a toss-up there. I hadn't really had a lot of practice on that one. Going to have to put in some work to keep up with these guys.
Great, well before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anybody?
Yeah, I'd just like to say I think Travis had a good pace here. It sucks what happened to him, but I'd like to thank Frank, our sponsor, from Ricmotech and TD's Tree Service. Couldn't do it without them.
Very well done on the win today. Great fight at the front as always, and yeah, hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week at COTA.
Thanks.
Rob Hartley there, and another class win for him. Really does bring it every single week that he's at this Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Alex, final word from yourself from the meeting at Sebring?
Oh, well, just another great meeting. I mean, bit more, a few more incidents than we used to seeing, but I just think that just goes to show guys out there are racing hard, you know, and accidents do happen even in the best of the series, but it's nice to see them all dealt with kind of live.
I think it's good that there were some crashes, actually. It shows that these guys are human and they make mistakes, yeah. They're only human after all. Thank you, everybody, and so are we, because we need to go to sleep. So thank you, everybody, for watching here on Apex Racing TV. And this has been a presentation of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series. We'll be back actually in about 17 hours time, when we will bring you the coverage of the BSR MX-5 Winter Series as well. So stick with us today on this Tuesday here on Apex Racing TV, and we will see you later on.